Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Robinson here again. We're going to continue our studies. We are now talking about absolute value from lesson 1.2 on our handout on rational numbers. So absolute value, and the symbol is these parallel lines. So if you're wondering why they're there, that's the symbol for absolute value. Absolute value is the distance from the point to zero. So you have some points on the number line, like here you have point -4 in red, and over there you got 5 in green. So those are points on the number line. 0 is the main number we have to worry about because we want to see what is the distance from those points to 0. So we need to count each step to get to 0. So if I count from -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 units or 4 steps away from 0. If I counted from 5, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 steps or 5 units away from 5 is away from 0. So this distance that I just said, 4 units and 5 units, or 4 steps and 5 steps, that's positive number because distance is always positive or 0 if there is no distance. So here we wrote the -4 inside of the parallel lines that I mentioned, the symbol for absolute value, that's equal to 4. So notice we have -4, but it's equal to 4 steps or 4 units here, which is a positive number. Here we have absolute value of 5, so that's 5 steps or just 5 units away from 0. So when you have the absolute value signs, you just always take the value of that number, and it's got to be positive unless you have operation in there. So let's pass this next one. That's my Espanol. So let's put an answer for these blanks. So absolute value of a number is its, hopefully you remember, its distance away from 0 on the number line. All right, so what is the absolute value of the given integer? And there's the 5. So that's an absolute value. So how many steps if we were to count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. So you don't have to count. You can just take the 5 and put it out there. And remember, it's got to be positive. Now here we have another one over here. This one is -3. So count how many spaces you got to go to get to 0. 1, 2, 3. 3 spaces. And notice the negative sign is gone. So just take out the minus sign and just put the number there, and it's a positive answer. So your answer is always going to be positive because distance is positive. All right. So here's some questions you need to evaluate for yourself. So if you remember the little trick I told you, just take out the number, like 2.4, and see how many spaces that is away from 0. Just 2.4. How many spaces is 0 away from 0? 0 spaces. And here's a fraction, and I notice it's a negative fraction, but I just count how many spaces. That would be just 1/4 space. So here's another one, -8.6. I just take out the number, which is 8.6 spaces. So I don't need the negative sign. So all you need is just the positive spaces. So it's always positive. So even if our number is a negative, like -10 is in an absolute value, that'll be 10 spaces. So hopefully you're getting the gist of it. If we have fractions, that's still no problem. It's just that many fractional spaces, 3/8 of a space. Okay? So let's leave those two for you guys for a class, and you can tell me what it is. Here we want to compare using those symbols we talked about in our other video, the less than, greater than, or equal to. All right, so here we got absolute value inside of a number, and then we got to compare. Well, the first step we need to do is find out how much this is equal to. So I'm going to take that 9.2 out of the absolute value because I don't need the negative. It's always a positive number. And I'm going to do the same here and take the absolute value of negative 6.3, and my answer will be 6.3. So now I have to compare using these symbols over here. So if you remember how I taught you to compare, I'm going to put a dollar sign, and I noticed they got a decimal there with a number behind it. So I'm going to put a 0 at the end so I can know how much money I'm comparing. $9.20 and $6.30. So which is going to be my greater than number? Well, Pac-Man would eat the $9.20 because that's greater than. So I write my greater than symbol. All right, let's look at the next one. We have negative 7 in absolute value. So let's take out the 7 because we don't need the negative. And absolute value of positive 7, which is also 7. Notice the distance is always positive. And now let me draw my favorite symbol, the dollar sign. $7 compared to $7. Hey, those are the same. So that means these are equal. All right, so here's 1/8. And here is negative 7/8. I'll take out the 7/8. And now all you got to do is compare them. And it's 1/8 and 7/8. There's 6 more eighths over on this side than there is on the 1/8. So I know this is bigger. So I'm going to go with the Pac-Man symbol eating up the 7/8 because 7/8 is greater than, or the 1/8 is less than. So we're comparing absolute value numbers. So remember, you have to take the number out of the absolute value sign. It's always positive, and then compare. So check your understanding. I hope you understood what we just did. If you're not sure, write down your questions, bring them in tomorrow, and I'll be glad to answer them in class. So remember, there's always dial a teacher homework helpline at 212-777-3380, Monday to Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Give them a call. They're very nice people. Remember, we have YouTube videos for you, so check out our videos on YouTube. My channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS. Subscribe to our channel. Help us to get to our next 1,000 subscribers. And write me a comment. Let me know how we're doing. And thank you for helping us to get to our first 1,000 subscribers. And write me a comment. Let me know how we're doing. I do write back. Check out our latest release, PKMS Math Prep 21. You can tweet me at drobmath1. If you want more information and you want a worksheet or something, write me at drobinson@peakskillschools.org, and I'll be glad to send you something. And there's little Kinsley from our Math Prep 21, The Pandemic. So check it out. It's on YouTube, 2021. So good luck. I know we have a test coming up in my class soon. So please make sure you watch your video. And I know you're going to do well because you studied and you're doing a good job watching my videos. So keep watching. Look for the next one coming out soon. Take care.